Listen closely. The fog you've been walking through was never ordinary confusion. It was warfare. Every moment you doubted yourself, every wave of uncertainty that clouded your thoughts, it wasn't because you were weak or lost. It was because something powerful was being contested over your life. Heaven had already released direction, clarity, and revelation for you, but the enemy sought to twist it, distort it, and drown it beneath noise. You've been standing in the middle of a spiritual storm that tried to make you question everything: your calling, your timing, your worth. But hear this clearly: the confusion was never a sign that God abandoned you. It was proof that something sacred was on its way. The attack on your clarity was a direct strike on your destiny. When heaven begins to move, darkness doesn't stay silent. The more aligned you become with divine truth, the louder the lies become. Yet even now that fog is lifting. God is saying, I am bringing understanding where there has been chaos. I am bringing peace where there has been torment. You weren't losing your way. You were being refined in silence. Those days when you didn't know what to pray, those nights when your heart felt scattered in 1,000 directions. He heard every unspoken word. The spiritual confusion was not a punishment. It was the battlefield before revelation. This is why the enemy tried to flood your mind with noise. Because if you could see clearly, you would step boldly. If you could hear clearly, you would obey quickly. So he attacked your peace. He targeted your discernment. He used distraction, exhaustion, and emotional overload to make you second-guess divine instruction. But the season of fog is ending. God is bringing a new sound clarity that cuts through distortion like light breaking through morning clouds. This message is your confirmation. Heaven is declaring, the war for your mind has ended. You are stepping into a season of divine understanding, where every confusing piece will fall into place. What once felt like chaos will reveal divine order. The same thoughts that once tangled your heart will become the wisdom that guides your next chapter. Stay with me, because in the next moments, you'll understand why the confusion had to come first, and how God is now restoring not just your peace, but your vision, your purpose, and your divine rhythm. What you've been feeling was not confusion for confusion's sake. It was divine interference with the world's noise. Heaven has been guarding you from making premature moves, from aligning with the wrong voices, from stepping into doors that looked golden, but were traps in disguise. That fog that frustrated you was also a shield. It slowed you down long enough for God to reroute you into the path that leads to destiny instead of distraction. You see, divine order often looks like delay to human eyes. When God begins to clear the battlefield of your mind, He first silences everything that speaks outside His will. That silence can feel heavy, even lonely, but it's sacred ground. It's the space where heaven whispers strategy. This is why so much felt uncertain. God was not absent. He was editing your atmosphere. Every misplaced voice, every false counsel, every deceptive appearance was being removed. There were moments you prayed for direction, but only felt stillness. You thought, why won't God answer me? But He was answering, just not in words. He was answering by closing the mouths of those who couldn't see what He placed inside you. He was answering by allowing confusion to expose dependency. You learned that not every voice speaking about you is authorized to speak into you. In this sacred pause, God has been realigning you with His divine frequency. Like tuning a radio, heaven was fine-tuning your discernment so that when He speaks next, you'll recognize the tone instantly. There's a purity returning to your perception. You'll soon notice that your thoughts feel lighter, your prayers clearer, your spirit calmer. That's not coincidence, it's divine calibration. God says, I have watched you wrestle between voices, your fear, your faith, your flesh, and my spirit. And now I am quieting the storm within you, so you can hear me again. There's a new clarity coming that won't require effort to understand. It won't come through striving, comparing, or forcing. It will come through stillness. The same God who divided the Red Sea is now dividing truth from deception in your mind. What once tangled you will now untangle itself by divine light. And when this clarity settles, revelation will follow like rain on dry ground. Ideas will flow again. Your sense of direction will sharpen. You'll begin to see patterns and meaning where before there was only confusion. What felt random will now make sense because heaven is unveiling the map that was hidden behind the fog. Don't rush this moment. Don't try to rebuild what confusion tore down. Let God reconstruct your foundation with revelation instead of reaction. This is holy ground, your season of divine realignment. Because what comes next is the unveiling. The reason the warfare targeted your mind is about to be revealed. Heaven will show you that behind every mental storm was a spiritual secret, a prophecy being birthed through resistance. Now prepare your spirit. In the next moment, truth unfolds. The prophecy will no longer whisper, it will speak. It began quietly, almost imperceptibly, like a wind shifting before a storm. You may not have realized it then, but the confusion was not the enemy's first move. It was his last resort. For the moment, heaven released the command, "Bring clarity." Every dark power that once surrounded your mind panicked. Because when a divine word is spoken, it cannot be revoked, it must manifest. The prophecy over your life is this: God is restoring your clarity, your peace, and your divine perception. What was blurred will now sharpen. What was hidden in mist will be illuminated in light. You are stepping into a season where the fog lifts not gradually, but suddenly. There will be moments when revelation hits you like lightning, quick, clear, undeniable. You'll see why certain doors shut, why some people faded away, why plans failed that you once thought were perfect. Heaven is saying now you will understand. Every delay was a redirection. Every no was divine protection. Every silence was strategic instruction disguised as stillness. God was never confusing you, He was confusing the enemy. The warfare around your mind was not punishment, it was protection. You were hidden in mystery, so the wrong eyes couldn't track your path. While you questioned your way forward, heaven was building unseen walls of fire around your purpose. In this new season, understanding will flow like water. You'll begin to interpret your own story through divine eyes instead of human pain. Those memories that once tormented you will now testify of God's wisdom. You'll see how every unanswered prayer became the foundation for greater purpose. What was meant to break your confidence will now strengthen your discernment. God is saying, the battle for your clarity is over. I have secured the vision I gave you. You will notice divine coincidences, sacred alignments that are too specific to ignore. A message will reach you at the exact moment you need it. A person will reappear carrying an answer to a prayer you forgot you prayed. Conversations will echo with meaning. It won't be random, it will be the orchestration of divine intelligence, bringing your perception back into alignment with heaven's pattern. In this unveiling, truth will not just be heard, it will be felt. You will sense it in your spirit before your mind can process it. That's how divine clarity works. It descends like light, bypassing the noise of logic, awakening the core of who you are. And with that clarity comes restoration. God will return to you what confusion stole your confidence, your focus, your inner stillness. Those sleepless nights filled with mental chaos will give way to peace so tangible, it feels like a presence resting on your shoulders. You'll breathe differently, think differently, walk differently. But this prophecy is not only personal, it's generational. For when a chosen vessel regains clarity, every environment they touch shifts. Families find direction, teams find vision, communities awaken. Your clarity will become a torch that others follow out of their own confusion. You are being anointed to carry divine understanding where there has been darkness. Even now the Spirit is whispering, lift your eyes. You are not walking in circles anymore. The fog was an illusion. The enemy wanted you to believe you were lost, but heaven's map has always been under your feet. You were never off course. You were being slowed until alignment caught up with time. This is the prophecy unveiled. You are stepping into divine understanding. Confusion has ended. Revelation begins. What once made no sense will now unfold like a story written by unseen hands. The questions that tormented you will dissolve under the weight of divine light. And as understanding floods in your steps, will steady again. Soon you'll wake up and feel it, the weight of fog gone. The heavy, uncertain energy replaced by calm conviction. You'll realize the battle was never for your possessions or your position. It was for your perception. Because whoever controls your clarity controls your destiny. But heaven has reclaimed it. And now that the veil is lifted, you will not just see what's ahead, you will recognize it. You'll look back and know that every moment of confusion was God writing a deeper revelation into your story. Stay close now, because what comes next is understanding on another level, the deeper spiritual meaning behind what you just lived through, the hidden wisdom behind the warfare, and why clarity is the weapon heaven is now placing in your hands. When heaven allows confusion to visit your life, it is never meaningless. Confusion is the cloud that conceals revelation until your heart is ready to receive it. It is the divine fog before dawn, the hush before heaven speaks. What you walked through wasn't spiritual chaos, it was spiritual construction. While you thought you were falling apart, God was rearranging the architecture of your understanding. In the kingdom, clarity is never cheap. Every revelation that carries weight is birthed through resistance. The fog you fought was proof that your spirit was approaching new ground. Each wave of uncertainty was a contraction of destiny, painful, yes, but purposeful. God does not give revelation to the unready. He uses confusion to humble the intellect so the heart can hear. Think of the Israelites wandering through the wilderness. To them it looked like confusion circling mountains, retracing steps, waiting for direction. But to God, it was purification. Their wandering stripped away the mindset of Egypt before they could enter the land of promise. So too, your confusion was not punishment. It was detox. It was heaven detoxing your mind from old attachments, false assumptions, and self-reliance. Every time you said, God, I don't know what you're doing, heaven whispered, exactly. That's how faith begins. Faith does not thrive in certainty, it grows in the unknown. Clarity is the harvest of trust. When you kept walking, even when you couldn't see the path, heaven marked your steps with oil. That oil of endurance, that willingness to stay faithful through confusion, has positioned you for revelation. The spiritual meaning of this warfare is profound. The enemy was terrified of your awakening. He knew that once your mind aligned with heaven, you would become unstoppable. So he flooded you with conflicting emotions and distorted mirrors to make you question your discernment. He wanted you to believe your confusion was failure, but it was actually gestation. God allowed the fog to remain just long enough for you to outgrow your dependency on sight. You learned to walk by faith, not by logic. You learned that obedience is greater than understanding. You learned to pause when heaven said wait, and to move only when peace said go. That discipline forged divine wisdom in you. In this season, clarity is no longer just information, it is transformation. It is the shifting of your inner atmosphere from panic to peace. When your spirit becomes still, the voice of God becomes unmistakable. That is why stillness was the weapon. In the noise of confusion, the world seeks answers. But in the quiet, heaven releases blueprints. You are being invited into the deeper meaning of clarity. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being in tune with the one who does. Divine understanding is not the absence of mystery. It's the peace to stand in it without fear. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a lake at dawn. The water is still, the mist slowly lifting. As the first light hits the surface, reflections become clear. That is what's happening within you. The Spirit is saying, "Be still and watch how I reveal." Every storm you survived was heaven clearing debris from your view. Every delay, every closed door, every unanswered question was God saying, "Wait, let me adjust the lighting." And now the light is right. You are about to see what was always there. Confusion was the cocoon. Revelation is the emergence. The struggle of the mind produced the wings of the Spirit. You no longer need to chase signs, you are one. Your peace will speak louder than your explanation. Your clarity will not only guide you, it will convict darkness wherever you go. This is divine metamorphosis. The very energy that once brought you anxiety will now fuel your wisdom. What once drained you will now define you. You will look back at this season and realize it was never about losing direction. It was about gaining depth. God says, "I did not remove you from the battle of the mind. I taught you to win it." You now carry an authority forged in silence, a discernment refined by fire. That's why the enemy fought so hard, because this kind of clarity cannot be faked or taken. It is born only through warfare. The fog has lifted, but not just so you can see. The light has come so you can be seen. The world will notice the steadiness in you. People will sense the divine order in your words, your timing, your presence. They won't understand how you carry peace where others panic. But heaven will know the battle for your clarity has been won. And now you will begin to see signs, subtle, undeniable confirmations that the warfare has ended and divine direction has begun. Now that the veil has lifted, the signs of divine confirmation will begin to appear around you quietly at first, then unmistakably. Heaven has a way of speaking through patterns, moments, and synchronicities that reach straight into your spirit. These signs are not coincidence. They are God's fingerprints gently pressing upon your path to remind you, "I am here and I am guiding you." The first sign will be inner stillness. You'll notice that situations that used to agitate you no longer shake you. The anxiety that once flooded your thoughts will lose its power. Where confusion once shouted peace will now whisper. That stillness is not apathy, it is authority. It is heaven reclaiming the atmosphere of your mind. When you feel that sudden calm, in a place that used to bring chaos, recognize it. That's divine confirmation. The second sign will come through divine alignment. You'll start encountering the right people, messages, and opportunities at the right time. Conversations will echo words you just prayed. You'll think of someone and they'll call. You'll open a video or a verse and it will speak directly to your current battle. These alignments are heaven's orchestration timing, so perfect it breaks the illusion of coincidence. The third sign will be renewed vision. Ideas that once felt distant or dead will awaken inside you. Inspiration will flow again. What once felt dull will suddenly carry light. You may wake up with a clear direction or find yourself writing, creating, or planning with effortless focus. That's not random energy returning, it's your anointing reigniting. The warfare clouded your creative flow, but clarity restores it. The fourth sign is discernment sharpened by peace. You will feel an instant knowing about what's right and what's not. Where before you wrestled with indecision, now your spirit will respond quickly. Peace will confirm, tension will warn. God is teaching you that discernment is not about analyzing, it's about recognizing His peace. The fifth sign will show in relationships shifting. Some connections will fade gently, while others will deepen overnight. Don't panic when people distance themselves. Heaven is trimming your circle for precision. Divine clarity exposes mismatched alignments. Those who remain will carry the same spiritual frequency, the same hunger for truth. They will feel like destiny, not distraction. The sixth sign will be synchronicities in numbers, dreams, or symbols. You may see repeating patterns like 11, 11, 7, 17, 3, 33, not as superstition, but as divine winks. Dreams will carry clearer messages. Symbols like door's light or eagles may appear often reminders that your vision is ascending. Heaven loves to confirm through imagery because your spirit understands pictures before your mind does. And perhaps the most powerful sign of all, you will feel God's nearness in everyday simplicity. Ordinary moments will feel sacred. You'll sense divine timing in traffic, in silence, in laughter, in tears. Everything will begin to feel purposeful again. Pay attention. These confirmations are heaven's love letters disguised as daily life. The Spirit is saying, I am reintroducing myself to you not through thunder, but through peace. Don't question whether you're imagining it. You're not. You are seeing through spiritual eyes now. The confusion has broken. The pattern of divine alignment has begun. And as these signs unfold, remember they are not the destination. They are the indicators that the fog has lifted and you are walking in the rhythm of divine order again. But every revelation attracts resistance. Before clarity crowns you fully, there will be one last layer to confront the hidden challenges that test whether your new understanding can stand the fire. Even when clarity comes, it does not arrive without challenge. For light always provokes what hides in the shadows. Now that you see more clearly, resistance may shift from confusion to confrontation. The fog may lift, but the wind will test your balance. These are not new attacks. They are the remnants of the old warfare trying one last time to pull you back into uncertainty. The first hidden challenge will be mental residue. Though the battle is over, the memory of the fog may linger. You might find yourself questioning whether you truly heard God or if you're imagining peace. This is the echo of warfare, not its return. When this happens, remind your spirit the confusion is no longer your reality. Those doubtful thoughts are only shadows of a season that is past. The second challenge will be temptation to overanalyze. Clarity brings revelation, but revelation demands trust. Your mind will want to dissect every detail to calculate what's next. But God didn't bring you this far to replace faith with control. Don't let the analytical mind undo what peace has already confirmed. Divine direction isn't always logical, it's spiritual. Learn to rest in what you know in your spirit, even if it defies reasoning. The third challenge will be spiritual fatigue. You've fought long in the unseen realm. Warfare drains even when you win. Now that the fog is gone, your spirit may crave rest, but the world may pressure you to move quickly. Don't rush. Restoration requires recovery. God is saying pause before you rebuild. Let my peace refill the places that warfare emptied. The strength you're regaining is not just for survival, it's for stewardship of what's coming next. The fourth challenge will appear as people who do not understand your new clarity. Some will still operate in confusion while you've moved into discernment. Don't argue with them. Simply live your revelation. Light doesn't need to convince darkness, it just needs to shine. Let your peace speak for you. The ones meant to walk with you will feel the alignment. The rest will drift away. The fifth challenge will be attacks of distraction. The enemy cannot reclaim your clarity, but he can redirect your focus. He will use small irritations, sudden busyness, emotional triggers, anything to pull your attention off what truly matters. Guard your atmosphere. Protect your focus like a treasure. Every distraction is an invitation to lose alignment. And finally, there is the most subtle challenge: learning to walk in the new rhythm of clarity. You've been trained by uncertainty for so long that peace might feel foreign. You may miss the chaos that once defined you, mistaking it for momentum. But clarity is not quietness, it is divine order. Learn the rhythm of rest, the strength of stillness, the wisdom of patience. Every challenge is not a setback. It's confirmation that your light is growing stronger. The resistance you feel is the pressure that proves transformation is taking hold. The Spirit whispers, you are being refined, not resisted. Don't fear the pressure, it's forming precision. Now, having seen the warfare and the challenges it leaves behind, heaven begins to hand you the blueprint, the sacred strategy to sustain this clarity, to walk in divine alignment without falling back into confusion. When heaven brings you through confusion into clarity, it never leaves you without direction. God does not rescue you from fog only to let you wander again. He gives you strategy, not just comfort. The next phase of your journey requires divine discipline. The Spirit says, now that you see, walk wisely. The first instruction is guard your mind like sacred ground. You have just reclaimed it from warfare. Don't leave it unprotected. Be intentional about what you allow to enter, what you listen to, what you watch, who you converse with. Every voice carries energy, and every energy shapes atmosphere. Feed your thoughts with words that reinforce peace, not doubt. Begin your mornings with prayer, scripture, or silence. Your mind is the altar of your discernment. Keep it pure. The second instruction is walk slower than before. In confusion, you rushed out of fear of missing something. In clarity, you will learn the rhythm of grace. Move with purpose, not panic. Every step must be led by peace, not pressure. If it requires you to force it, it is not God. The Spirit's pace is steady and sure. You are no longer chasing opportunities, you are aligning with divine timing. The third instruction, stay anchored in daily communion. Don't wait for chaos to pray. Learn to speak with God in simplicity while walking, working, resting. This intimacy keeps your clarity renewed. The fog cannot return to a soul that stays in constant conversation with heaven. When confusion tries to reappear, His voice will cut through it immediately. The fourth instruction, protect your environment. The clarity you carry is light. Light attracts, but it also exposes. You will notice certain atmospheres begin to feel heavy or noisy. Trust that sensitivity. You are not being antisocial, you are being spiritually aware. Some environments that once felt normal will now feel draining because your spirit has shifted frequencies. Don't apologize for honoring your peace. The fifth instruction, write what God reveals. You are stepping into a prophetic rhythm, and revelation will come in fragments. Dreams, impressions, scriptures, sudden ideas. Don't dismiss them. Write them down immediately. These are not random thoughts. They are divine instructions arriving in pieces. Over time, they will form a pattern, a blueprint for your next assignment. The sixth instruction, discern between reaction and revelation. Not every urge to move is divine prompting. Some are emotional echoes. When you feel led to act, pause. Ask, is this peace or pressure? Peace guides, pressure drives. Revelation will never rush you. It will confirm itself through consistency. The seventh instruction, walk in humility, even as wisdom increases. Clarity can become dangerous when it breeds pride. Remember, revelation is a gift, not a trophy. Use your discernment to heal, not to boast. When others are still in their fog, show compassion, not criticism. You were once there too. Humility keeps your light pure. The eighth instruction established new rhythms. Old routines were built around survival. Now you must build around purpose. Set times for rest, creation, reflection, and gratitude. Clarity grows in order. If your life feels cluttered, simplify it. God's voice thrives in uncluttered spaces. The ninth instruction, forgive the season that confused you. Don't resent the fog that forged your discernment. What once broke you blessed you. Speak peace even over your past pain. Thank God for the warfare it taught you, what peace truly means. Gratitude is the final form of wisdom. And finally, the 10th instruction, declare and walk as if it's already done. You don't have to see the full map to move in obedience. When God says, go, trust that clarity will meet you on the way. Faith precedes understanding. The next level of revelation will only appear as you walk forward. God says, the fog was never meant to end you, it was meant to unveil you. This is your moment of divine recalibration. You are not rebuilding from confusion, you are building from revelation. Every instruction you follow strengthens your clarity. Every obedient step widens your vision. The Spirit concludes this segment with a gentle command. Guard your peace, protect your perception, and walk in stillness. For the next door will open not by striving, but by alignment. Now that you have the instruction, heaven desires to wrap this revelation with comfort. For with every divine command comes divine protection. God does not lead you where His grace cannot keep you. Now that clarity has come and instruction has been given, heaven surrounds you with protection. Every divine revelation is covered by divine defense. You are not walking into this new season alone. You are stepping forward under the wings of the Almighty. God says you are guarded by my presence and guided by my peace. The same voice that led you through the storm now stands before you like a shield of light. You don't have to fear what you can't see. What once threatened to overtake your mind has lost access. Angels now stand watch at the borders of your destiny, ensuring that no stray confusion, no hidden scheme, no whispered lie can enter again. You will feel this protection in subtle ways. Where there was once fear, there will now be calm. Where chaos tried to stir, you'll sense an invisible boundary pushing it back. This peace is not weakness, it is divine warfare in stillness. It is God saying, I have stationed peace where panic once lived. You are wrapped in a mantle of discernment, a cloak of clarity that shields you from deception. Every time the enemy tries to distort what God has spoken, truth will rise like a sword within you. You will know instantly what is false, and your spirit will reject it before your mind can analyze it. That is divine protection in operation. You will also be protected from emotional exhaustion. Heaven is rebalancing your energy. The moments that once drained you will now strengthen you. God is filtering your connections, renewing your strength, and restoring your rest. Even as you sleep, His presence will cover you. The night will no longer feel heavy. It will become sacred, a place of renewal, not warfare. And when you face uncertainty again, as every believer does, you will not collapse. You will remember the lesson of this season. Clarity does not mean the absence of battle. It means the presence of confidence. You will walk through challenges knowing heaven has already gone ahead. The Spirit is saying the outcome is secured before the test begins. When fear tries to whisper, let your spirit answer, I am protected by promise. When doubt tries to return, say, the fog has no power here. When distraction knocks, respond. Peace is my gatekeeper. Your protection is not just around you, it is within you. The same light that guards your path now dwells in your heart. The confusion that once surrounded you cannot find entry anymore, because the presence of God fills the space where chaos once ruled. You are safe. You are covered. You are surrounded by glory. And as this protection settles around you, like a warm dawn after a long night, your transformation begins. What once broke you will now build you. The clarity you've gained will soon manifest as fulfillment, as visible fruit, as divine manifestation. The next chapter is not about surviving, it's about becoming. Transformation doesn't begin when the fog lifts. It begins the moment you realize it had a purpose. You've stepped through the valley of confusion, and now you emerge radiant, steady, and wiser than before. This is your divine fulfillment, the moment where revelation becomes reality, where everything that once broke your peace becomes the very soil that grows your strength. You are no longer defined by what you didn't understand. You are defined by what you learned to trust even when you couldn't see. That trust has become the foundation of your transformation. Every tear that fell in uncertainty was water for the garden of your new season. You were not lost, you were being planted. And now the roots of faith that formed in secret are breaking through the surface. The first fruit of your transformation is peace that stays. Not temporary calm, not emotional relief, but an anchored serenity that cannot be shaken by circumstance. This peace is your new normal. It doesn't mean storms stop coming. It means storms no longer control you. You move differently now. You walk with the quiet confidence of one who knows heaven is already ahead of them. The second fruit is divine perception restored. You now see through spiritual lenses. Where others see endings, you'll see beginnings. Where others see obstacles, you'll see hidden instruction. This is what the enemy feared, the awakening of your divine sight. You no longer live reactively. You live prophetically. You discern before disaster, and you perceive before pain. The third fruit is purpose reborn. Out of confusion came clarity, and out of clarity comes calling. God is stirring new vision inside you, assignments that align with who you've become. You'll begin to notice your desires changing, your passions refining. You are not chasing old dreams anymore. You're being commissioned for divine purpose. What once felt random now fits perfectly into the grand design. And as you walk in this new clarity, favor will follow. Doors that once stayed shut will open effortlessly. Opportunities will find you. Divine timing will catch up to divine preparation. You'll realize that what was delayed wasn't denied. It was being divinely aligned. Transformation is never loud, it is recognized by fruit. You'll find yourself responding differently to old triggers. You'll speak with more compassion, act with more patience, listen with more grace. That's how heaven measures growth, not by applause, but by atmosphere. Your very presence will carry peace that others can feel. And fulfillment is not a destination, it's a revelation. It's realizing that every stage, the confusion, the silence, the warfare was sacred. It all worked together to reveal the strength you now carry. God has transformed what once tormented you into testimony. Now you live with spiritual rhythm instead of reaction. You no longer need to force clarity, you embody it. You have become the calm you once prayed for. You are walking proof that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the evidence of presence, the presence of God in the midst of everything. This is your fulfillment, the restoration of sight, the renewal of peace, the resurrection of purpose. Heaven has declared your transformation complete. You are not who you were when this began. You are refined, anointed, awakened. And soon your life will mirror this inner shift. Circumstances will begin aligning with your clarity. New doors will open without striving. What once drained you will now recognize your authority and back away. You have moved from confusion to command. This is the divine exchange where warfare births wisdom and clarity births calling. You have crossed over. You have become the revelation. Now, to seal this transformation, heaven releases one final blessing spoken not as instruction, but as affirmation. Words of power you can carry, repeat, and declare whenever you need to remember who you are and what God has done. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness that now fills the space confusion once occupied. You have come through the fog and into divine light. This is not a temporary calm, it is a permanent shift in your spiritual atmosphere. Heaven has spoken, the warfare has ended, and clarity has been crowned. Let these words settle into your spirit like oil, soft, pure, sealing everything heaven has done within you. From this day forward, when doubt or distraction tries to return, you will not fight it with fear. You will answer it with truth. Repeat these affirmations aloud and let your voice agree with what heaven has already decreed. 1. My mind is clear and my spirit is steady. The confusion of yesterday has no hold on me. My peace is proof of God's promise. 2. I walk by divine instruction, not by human pressure. Every step I take is guided by heaven's wisdom, not the world's noise. 3. I am surrounded, protected, and aligned. No scheme, no storm, no shadow can invade the clarity God has given me. 4. What once broke me now builds me. Every battle refined me, every silence shaped me, every delay prepared me. 5. I am light in motion. I carry peace where there was confusion. I carry vision where there was blindness. I carry heaven wherever I go. Let these affirmations become your rhythm, your declaration, your armor. Speak them in the morning when you wake. Whisper them when the day feels heavy. Declare them before you rest. They are not mere words, they are spiritual alignment made audible. Now receive this closing blessing. May the Lord bless you with eyes that see clearly and ears that hear truth effortlessly. May your heart remain tender but unshakable, humble but bold, quiet yet powerful. May every false voice be silenced and every divine instruction resound like a melody in your spirit. May peace become your language and discernment your strength. May you walk through every door heaven opens with courage and never again doubt the path you are on. Let your mind remain guarded by grace, your heart covered by light, and your days guided by divine rhythm. The confusion was warfare, but now revelation reigns. The fog has lifted, and your vision is restored. The next chapter begins in clarity, wisdom, and unshakable peace. You have endured the storm. You have passed the test. You have entered divine alignment. It is done. Clarity has come. Peace now reigns. Amen.